Hello viewers, thanks for watching my videos and welcome to the next set of video regarding the Google Cloud platform for the data warehouse modernization. Let's take a look at this as such a very important and it's a hot topic in the cloud technology. IT infrastructure doesn't differentiate their business. In fact, it's often a burden. It limits organization staffs in many different ways. For an example, like they have to undertake a laborious task related to platform, infrastructure, procurement, provisioning, and technical support along with the maintenance process. So they are using legacy systems that are old and don't add value to it, right? And other than keeping the lights on and don't support the business change. They cannot scale with ease because they are logged into what they have on premises and forced to pay, over provision for the peak usage. One option for reducing this burden is to outsource your infrastructure as much possible and migrate to the cloud environment. To demonstrate how technology has impacted company business model over the years, let's take a look back to the time before the cloud. We will use a simplified IT backbone to talk through various changes. First, let's look at the employees that uses these technologies. These people are asset to the organization. They use or create applications on their PCs, on a silo platform or on the servers. And as a part of their day-to-day work, they are storing these information and data and connecting to each other over the internet. As company grows and there is a need for more computers with more processing power, and company might have data centers with servers, organization might have one their servers, data centers, cooling system, and physical security features in place. And most importantly, the real estate to house all of this infrastructure. On top of this, they got to pay for maintenance and the technological support. And here is the business. It sets up a large data center and then the other organization or companies rent part of that data center. This means the organization no longer have to pay the extra costs associated with the hosting, the infrastructure and maintenance, but they have to pay for the whole maintenance life cycle. Think of this similar as that you're owning a house. You're responsible for all the infrastructure, bricks, mortar, locks, and fence around the garden, and most importantly, an ongoing cost on the utilities, for example, the homeowners association. Right? From the first step in moving away from what we call on-premises infrastructure is a colocation. And here is the business setup of a large data center, then the other organization rent part of that data center. This means the company no longer have to pay the costs associated with hosting the infrastructure, but they need to pay and maintain it. And it's like owning an apartment or a house in a gated community. You still have to pay for the infrastructure and the apartment or the house, and you are still responsible for the maintenance. For example, if your heater breaks down, or some things like you need to install fence around your house, these are all the certain things that you can outsource it, and also the people, they perform the maintenance on an annual basis. With both on-premises and the co-location, the value creation only starts well after the substantial amount of the capital expenditure is committed. Given that the hardware is often heavily underutilized. Even in the co-location model, the staffs found a way to package applications and their operating system in what we call as a virtual machine. The virtual machine shared the same pool of computer processing, storage, and networking resources. Virtual machines optimize the use of available resource and enable business to have multiple applications running at the same time. So most organizations use the virtual machines to optimize the use of the data center, whether on-prem or in a co-located environment. The problem though is that there's still a capital expenditure to the physical capacity of the existing environment. The company still have to commit a substantial amount of the capital expenditure, and over the period of time, as you consume more amount of data storage, you still have to pay for it. So that is the main challenges, and most companies are outsourcing their infrastructure entirely, or they're growing and deliver their products and services to customer regionally and globally and need to scale extremely quick, and securely. That's very critical part, is a part of the data warehousing running on the cloud. Setting up and maintaining data centers and network connections that are optimal for the needs is expensive. They don't need to see the benefit of owning their own data center if they can outsource to a public cloud that offers infrastructure as a service. Similarly, Google is one of the main key area. They do provision and serve the infrastructure as a service. In our analogy, this is like renting an apartment in a service building. Now, if the heater breaks down, it's the landlord or you who is responsible for getting it fixed. Now, see, this is the operating expenses and the capital expenditure as a part of the on-prem environment. You got to invest a lot of money on the capital. So that is one of the major setback for owning, the platform on your environment. The operating expenses, when it shifts to the cloud, the expenditure is completely shifted from being a capital expenditure heavy to being more operational expenditure. Right? And the infrastructure as a service is one Google Cloud offerings. In your organization chooses to, it can move some or all of its infrastructure away from the physical data centers, whether on-prem or in a shared data locations, or to virtualized environment in the cloud. Google Cloud provides you with a compute, network, storage, and other resources organized in a way is familiar to you from your experience with the physical and virtualized data center environment. So maintenance work is outsourced, basically when you are outsourcing it to the Google Cloud, it's easier to shift a larger proportion of your organization expertise to build processes, applications that move the business forward. Outsourcing IT resources gives the company flexibility, but requires the team to continue managing like web applications, your third-party applications, which database application security. This is the information security that specifically deals with websites, web application, and other web services. On top of it, Google Network carries as much as almost 40 to 45% of the entire world's internet traffic. In fact, Google's network is the largest of its kind on earth, and Google has invested a tremendous amount of money over the years to build it. So the Google customers are able to run their applications and services on the same infrastructure that Google uses to serve billions of users around the world. The network is truly global and operating in 200 countries. Why we need it? Because now you are thinking in a bigger picture, data warehouse modernization running on the cloud, extremely scalable, and you have no business interruption. The business continuity is always a game of plan. So you are really going and glowing in a global fashion. This means the customers benefit from private, well-provisioned, highly reliable global network. Finally, you might be considering multiple factors as a part of your decision to outsource IT resources, like security, openness, and of course the value of the available products and services. Perhaps at Google, if you are leveraging the Google Cloud Platform, they are taking the environment into consideration as well. I think it's a point to be highlighted here. By moving computing engine from a self-managed data center on-prem facility into Google Cloud Platform, the net emissions directly associated with your company's compute and data storage absolutely zero. Because the Google matches 100% of the energy consumed by the global operation with the renewable energy and maintains a commitment to the carbon neutrality. So this is the basic fundamental concepts why we should move into the Google Cloud Platform. This is one of the major players in the cloud market. I think in our upcoming videos, I'll be going to take more closer look at the migration path from AWS, Azure, and also to the Google Cloud. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe to my channel, comment it, and like it. Please share. Thank you so much.